This car cost $48,000 brand new. Today, it looks like it's worth nothing. But inside, it hides a mine of precious metals and raw materials ready to be brought back to life. Because if iron ore is a natural mine, end-of-life cars are an artificial mine without limits. Every year, 12 million of these machines are transformed into pure steel. And the process behind that transformation is one of the most extraordinary industrial stories you've never heard. Today, we're going inside that system, right here on Stories Behind Everything. When a car reaches the end of its life, the first stop is the intake area of a recycling facility. Technicians record every detail: vehicle identification number, year of manufacture, condition, and mileage. Photos are taken, a barcode is attached, and all data enters a digital tracking system. All of this data serves one single purpose: making sure that nothing, absolutely nothing, goes to waste. More than 95% of end-of-life vehicles in the United States pass through this system, making automobiles the most recycled consumer product in the world. Paper and plastic recycling rates don't even come close. Every vehicle is evaluated with one simple question: what can still serve, and what must be reborn? Parts that can be saved are carefully removed, tested, cleaned, and resold. Everything else moves toward the shredder. Even fluids, oil, antifreeze, refrigerants, are drained and either purified for reuse or safely neutralized. In this way, the end of one car becomes the beginning of countless other products. Before dismantling begins, hidden dangers must be neutralized. Think of it as defusing a bomb before you can take it apart. The most critical step is battery removal. Lead-acid batteries, standard in gasoline cars, are extracted immediately. Their recycling rate exceeds 98%, with lead, plastic casing, and even sulfuric acid all reclaimed and reused. They often reappear as fresh batteries powering hybrids and electric vehicles. Lithium-ion packs from EVs require even more caution. These high-voltage units are carefully disconnected, insulated, and shipped to specialized facilities. Mishandling them could trigger fires or toxic leaks. Once the car is electrically safe, fluid drainage begins. Every vehicle carries several gallons of gasoline, engine oil, brake fluid, and coolant. Left inside, they're a fire hazard. Specialized probes pierce the tanks while pumps extract every drop into sealed reservoirs. Nothing is wasted. Much of this fluid, once filtered, is reused to power the forklifts and equipment inside the recycling yard itself. Yesterday's gasoline fuels today's recycling line. But the real treasure isn't in the fuel tank. It's hidden inside a small component that thieves around the world are stealing in record numbers. We'll get to that in just a moment. Now begins the methodical process of taking the car apart. Tires and wheels come off first. Rubber is shredded into granules used in asphalt, athletic tracks, and playground surfaces. Steel and aluminum rims go straight to smelters. Windshields are cut out using specialized tools, with both the glass and the PVB interlayer recycled separately. One for remelting, the other for soundproofing and coatings. Doors and interiors are dismantled with care. Frames are recycled as steel, while motors, wiring, and electronics are separated for copper, plastics, and rare earth magnets. Seat foam becomes insulation material. Carpets and upholstery are shredded into filler. Air conditioning units are drained of refrigerants that would otherwise escape into the atmosphere as greenhouse gases. And now, the real treasure. Engines and transmissions are the highest value components. Some are refurbished entirely and resold. A single working engine can fetch thousands of dollars on the aftermarket. But the most valuable piece of all is one most people walk past every day without knowing it exists. The catalytic converter. Hidden inside are platinum, palladium, and rhodium. Precious metals each worth more per ounce than gold. This is what thieves are after. And in the recycling world, it's one of the most prized recoveries of the entire process. Even with components removed, the vehicle frame still contains stray plastics, wiring, and exhaust pipes. Hydraulic shears, giant jaws that strike like controlled lightning bolts, rip the remaining parts free in minutes, leaving a bare metal skeleton ready for compaction. Sparks fly as steel beams snap like twigs. But this isn't destruction for its own sake. It's preparation. Under forces of 150 to 200 tons, the bare frame is then compressed into a dense, compact block. 3 different machines handle this stage, each with a distinct purpose. Think of the car baler like packing goods tightly for storage, compressing frames into dense cubes, perfect for stacking and transport. The car flattener is like rolling them thin for easy movement, faster and cheaper, though less dense. And the shear baler is like chopping them into ready-made pieces for remelting, slicing the frame into short segments that go directly to the furnace. Different methods, same goal: turning a bulky car into uniform metal ready for its next life. These blocks then enter the shredder, the thunderous heart of the recycling line. It's like hitting the metal with a giant, controlled bolt of lightning. Interlocking steel shafts rotate in opposite directions, their teeth tearing everything apart. Within seconds, a compressed car is reduced to uniform fragments. Modern shredders process 100 to 150 tons of steel per hour, equivalent to hundreds of cars every single day. What emerges from the shredder is no longer recognizable as a car. Just fragments of steel, aluminum, copper, plastics, and rubber, all mixed together. This is where science takes over. Magnets pull carbon steel out first. Eddy current separators push aluminum and copper aside using magnetic fields. Airflow systems and vibration screens separate plastics, foams, and rubber. In less than a minute, chaos becomes order. Neat streams of pure materials, each with its own destination and its own next life. Steel fragments are loaded into electric arc furnaces. It's like striking the metal with a giant controlled lightning bolt. Graphite electrodes unleash temperatures soaring above 2,900 degrees Fahrenheit. Scrap melts into glowing rivers of molten steel. Lime and flux absorb impurities, rising as slag that floats to the surface and is skimmed away. Oxygen lances refine the chemistry. Sophisticated sensors measure the composition in real time, making micro-adjustments until the alloy meets exact specifications. What emerges is molten steel, indistinguishable from steel made with virgin iron ore, but produced using 74% less energy. Each batch is tested and certified. What entered as a rusting car door exits as a certified industrial material ready to build the future. The molten steel flows into continuous casting machines where water-cooled molds solidify the surface instantly while the core remains liquid. Billets, slabs, and blooms take shape, stretching for dozens of meters before thermal saws cut them into segments weighing several tons each. Every piece is marked and logged for full traceability. From casting, the billets surge into hot rolling mills. Massive rollers flatten and stretch the steel into sheets, bars, and coils, each pass improving strength and consistency. Think of it like sculpting muscle into metal. Powerful, precise, and relentless. Cameras and lasers monitor every micron of thickness in real time. ultrasonic sensors scan for hidden cracks. Only flawless material earns approval. And so the cycle completes. Steel never truly dies. It is reborn endlessly, carrying civilization forward, one cycle at a time. The bridge you drove over this morning, the building going up on your street, the brand new car rolling off the assembly line, chances are the steel inside them was once someone's old car. Maybe even the one that sat in a driveway for years before finally being driven to a scrapyard for the last time. That's what makes this industry extraordinary. Not the machines, not the numbers. The idea that nothing is ever truly lost, just waiting to be reborn. The car you drive today, could it one day become the steel for a bridge someone else crosses every morning? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, drop a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you never miss a new upload.